From weathered back roads to the blazing edge of faith, this is where grit meets grace. Welcome to the place where truth ain't tame and stories burn brighter than the flame. This is the Gunpowder, Propane and Jesus podcast. Real talk, real calling, no polish, just purpose. Let's light it up.
Hey.
Wow. What do y'all think about that intro? It just gets better and better to hear every time I play it.
I don't know. Whoever did it did an awesome job.
It's amazing.
I like it.
No thanks to Motion Array. Please don't sue us.
They need a raise.
Shut up. Man, it's good to see you guys. I'm glad.
We'll get you a taller chair.
I'm glad we are in here this week again. We have an amazing special guest. Before we introduce him, any praise reports? Any good things happen?
So I just want to ask, who put you in charge of introducing everybody?
I did.
Well, that makes sense why he's doing it. He's in charge of it.
I sit in this room the longest while y'all are just talking.
I can't help you don't know how to run the board still.
I do know how to run the board. That's why we had several successful recordings. So shut your mouth, Aaron.
We've had more unsuccessful than we've had successful.
You know,
Our
Aaron,
guest is wondering why he's even here.
oh man, Aaron and Bruce are some ugly old bulldogs. We need to put them down soon. But praise report, Aaron, hit me.
I got to learn that a friend of mine, his little boy, got to trust Jesus over the weekend. So
Heck yeah, he was the one that needed a heart transplant.
yep,
Yeah, that's awesome.
And you know what's amazing is he did get a heart transplant.
he did. He got an eternal heart
that's
transplant.
awesome.
I got some goose bubbles.
Yeah.
Goose bubbles. I don't get goosebumps. I get goose bubbles.
You better watch out.
I went to the doctor. He said it's not treatable.
That's good right there.
I see you giggling. You're here this week. You didn't get hit by any buses or anything.
I don't know. You just said something about
Dadgummit.
killing me and Aaron off. So I
Well,
thought it
because
was
y'all
only when
keep
I wasn't
running
here
your
I
mouth
got
about
killed.
the necessity of me being here, and I'm an integral part of this podcast.
You
So-
can't even spell that.
I gave you props on the intro, dog. First thing out the gate.
I know. I love you, Bruce. Bruce gave me some lip this morning. I needed him to put the egg up, and he tried to explain why he couldn't put the egg up
I'm in
when
the
I
middle
told
of
him.
getting all the egg off my hands so I don't contaminate the rest of them. And he
He
says,
ain't
go
have
put these in there now. And I was like, no, I'm
I
cleaning
didn't
my
say it
hands.
like that. I said, Bruce, could you please put these eggs up for me? And he's like, no, I don't do what you
The
say.
truth is, he was late getting here, and Donnie got his
No,
parking
I was
space
actually-
up front.
I was actually
Donnie stole
earlier.
his parking spot.
No, that handicap spot is mine, guys. I'm just saying, Donnie Mae, if you're listening, I will change your voice on
It's
your
physical
podcast.
handicap, not mental.
It's both. Bruce, Dr. Kernigan, you got any praises?
Yeah.
Any good reports?
Yeah, I'm here. My family's doing good. I got a brother-in-law that's fixing to get a port put in for some treatment, so just pray for that. But,
yes.
but we know the ultimate healer.
Yep.
So
He holds it all in his hand.
there you go.
Jordan.
Yeah, I got one. I was sitting in the truck yesterday. I had all my boys with me at work, and we stopped for lunch, and I was on the phone with my brother, and I just sat in the truck, and the boys went inside for, they took the food inside, and they all come running out the door and was like, hey, we said the blessing, and we blessed your food for you too. So
They're ready to eat.
Look, funny story about Jackson, his boy. We went to eat one day at Zaxby's, and we got a thing when we all go eating together. Whoever grabs the plate first or grabs food first, they got to pray.
Yeah.
Well, I walked up to the table, and Jackson had a French fry in his hand. He shoved it right in his pocket.
He learned.
Yep.
Oh,
Cameron,
man.
you got to pray?
Oh man, this right here. I mean, this is great. This is definitely strong timing for me. My family's doing good. My boys are playing ball. My son caught an interception the other night.
Hey.
Ran her about 60 yards for a touchdown.
Amen.
Awesome. Everything's going good. My job's great and everything, man. God's just good.
Awesome.
Good.
And I do have a praise. Lily, last week, she got two points playing volleyball.
Hey.
She doubled her scoring abilities last night, got 4 points. She's turning it up, baby. I'm so proud of you, Lily. You're my favorite. I mean, not my favorite daughter, but you are my baby. I love you
So
so
your daughter's
much.
name's Lily?
Lily, yeah.
Yeah,
We
my
got
daughter's
Lily.
Lily too.
I don't know if y'all know this, but that handsome man voice that y'all are hearing, that's our special guest, old Cameron, no nonsense, nunchuck Walker. This dude is a man. I have a serious question. It's the only one that matters. Is did it hurt when you fell from heaven?
Oh, Lord.
Oh.
Man,
I told you he'd come on to every man in here.
It was a gentle lay down.
Look, he's already excited. His shirt's wet.
I got a grease stain on it. I told Jordan. I said, never mind. We won't go there. Off the rail. Okay, thanks guys. Thanks for pulling that back. I'm like a wild horse. You got to tame me sometimes, Cameron.
And that's what I do for a living.
Man, well, Cameron,
You met your match.
You should have named Cameron Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah. Well, I
I
didn't
get that
think
all the time,
man. But so Cameron, you were originally from Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
You've been married to your wife Carrie, which is she is a current Marine for the past 28 years.
20,
Not
no,
married 28 years. She's been in the Marine for 28 years.
Yep,
Married-
23
years.
Yep, 23.
Married to you for the past 13 years.
13.
You can't read, John.
Golly,
No,
who
he
made
even
these
made the
notes?
notes.
Sorry, guys.
That's why we do this.
Yeah.
Hey, you picked that up, man. That paper cost me money. You got five kids.
Yep.
Good
5.
Lord. I'm gonna rattle these off. Patrick, Kenny, Bodie, Robert, Lily.
Lily.
Yeah, man. You got a big family. You were a combat Marine
Yeah, Marine.
for 8 years. Now
Yep.
you are a Marine Corps veteran. Thank you
I
for
am.
your service,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
Yes.
You moved to South Carolina 12 years ago. You've been attending Victory Baptist Church for 11 years.
Yep.
You're part of the quick response stage security team.
That's what they say.
Yes, sir. You worked in the mining business for 20 years.
I have been. Yep.
You
Still
like to
currently.
blow up rocks and crush them.
Yep. Big ones and the little ones.
You own a 150-acre farm with 40 cows.
Yep.
Your family likes to ride horses, and you have a rodeo team with your family in it.
Yep.
You own a quarry and you stud out horses.
Well, I don't own a quarry. I work with one.
Okay. I'm sorry. You accepted Christ back in 2014.
Yep. I
And
did.
that was when you were struggling with addiction, alcohol, depression,
Yep.
and all kinds of stuff. So,
Yep, that's me.
man, we are so happy to have you here. Yeah, man. Let's get into this session. Let's do this.
What do you want to do?
I don't know, man. Let's ask Cameron some questions. Let's talk about his military service.
No.
So, how many? You
So
said,
I went in. So I'll just tell you, I was in for 8 years. I was in the Marine Corps Reserve. So when I was, I graduated when I was 17 years old. I went to just sign up for the Marines, and I got cold feet, and I said, no, this ain't going to be me. So my birthday's 9/11. So
well, happy birthday,
happy
yesterday,
late birthday.
man.
Yeah.
So yesterday was my birthday, and today's sort of a special day. Not only today, what I was able to do this morning at the breakfast, but today's the day that I decided, hey, I'm going in the Marine Corps.
And can I say you did great this morning,
Thank
man?
you.
That you touched my heart, man.
I appreciate that.
You did amazing.
That was real.
Go ahead, sir.
And I was going to go in active duty. I was gun ho. I was going to make it happen, but I decided not to. I got cold feet, and I went to college. Started going to college for criminal justice. I wanted to be a game warden or state trooper.
Nice.
That was my goal. I wanted to be a cop. Well,
Well, you're already practicing your pit maneuvers on all the cars you wrecked.
yeah, I'm telling you. So I didn't do that, and I dropped out of college. And I said, man, I'm going in the Marines. I'm doing this. So I went in the Marine Corps Reserve.
Okay.
And so the Marine Corps Reserve is sort of like a National Guard thing. You do 1 week in a month, 2 weeks out to summer, and then you do deployments. You get called up, do certain things like that. So I did 8.5 years in the Marine Corps Reserve. In my civilian life, or my civilian time, when I was in the reserves, I started working at the rock quarries. So I got into the rock business.
Nice.
And in 2009, 2010, I got activated. And my wife was in the same unit that I was in. So that's where we met.
Like Jason Bourne activated,
Yeah.
they called you and they were like, purple eagle, yellow rodeo train, and you just was like, I got to kick some butt.
Yep.
Nice.
So I ended up, I met Carrie there, but in 2009, 2010, I got activated. So my MOS was motor transport, and I did a lot of combat recoveries and stuff. I was part of a truck team.
My man.
So in 2010, I went overseas, and I did a bunch of recovery missions and did a bunch of that stuff. And when I got back, and I got out in 2000, and my time ended in 2011,
Gotcha.
2012. Yeah. My civilian job, it took off. Like my rock business job was skyrocketing. Like I was taking on new positions, taking on new opportunities. I was chasing that corporate ladder, you know, and that's what pushed me to South Carolina. So when I had the opportunity to come south, that's when I did.
And so you said, how many combat recovery missions?
287.
Good Lord.
Is that just like convoys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. 287.
Man, that's nuts.
I spent 90, and like I said, I don't, there's thousands of veterans, probably veterans listening to this podcast, some veterans out there today. I'm no different than any other man that's been over there. I do not think that I'm some kind of Rambo, all declarated Navy SEAL recon guy, but, I just did my job.
Yeah.
I volunteered. I didn't get asked. I wanted to do it. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved every minute of it. I lived and breathed it. And at the end of the day, really, one of my biggest, I wish that I would have made different. I don't ever say I have a bunch of regrets, but I wish I was still in.
Yeah.
I wish I would have stayed, to be honest. I wish I was still right there with my wife. But, so I did those. I spent 90% of my time outside the wire. When you talk about, you got bases and stuff. So I spent 90% of my time outside. Me and a bunch of buddies of mine, Clark and Hatch and Clark and Phillips and all these boys. I mean, we that's all we did was convoys and recoveries and all kinds of stuff.
Shout out Clark, Hatch, and Philip.
Yep.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Any eye-opening experiences? I mean, you were in Afghanistan.
Yeah, so it was some moments where, it was a little iffy.
Yeah.
And we had to do things and get it done and just make it happen and get out. I mean, I don't really go into a lot of detail with it, but
Gotcha.
I mean, it's just part of the job.
If you could share one thing, I'm not saying share a combat moment, but in the heat of that moment, what is one thing that gets you through stuff like that? That could relate to us
in the
now.
moment. The Marines are trained that you have to complete the mission.
Gotcha.
Nothing else matters. The mission. That's the only thing that matters. Is the mission. So when you hit those moments and those few issues where, we were stuck in a wadi one time, taking on some small arms fire and, trying to hook up to a truck, trying to get things done. And you just tunnel it out.
Yeah.
You tunnel it out and you just do your job.
Blinders.
That's what's so crazy about Marine Corps. Marine Corps is all about train. Everything you do, the left over right, right over left, the way I hold my hands. Sometimes you may see how I position my body. I don't I this is how I like to be. I don't like my back to the door kind of deal. It's just training. You just get in that mindset and you just make it happen. But there were some other great guys out there, man, like Clark and Hatch and Phillips and, all those guys were tremendous people. So it was good. I enjoyed it.
All right. Well, how did your time as a Marine shape you the way you lead your family today? How would you describe, like, maybe some, like you just said, the way you train your body?
Right.
How did any of that training help you today, the way you lead your family?
I think it was discipline.
Yeah.
The discipline part of, there's a thing going around is you got to have some want to,
Yeah.
and I think the discipline and the accountability would probably be a lot. My wife is great with routine and making it happen and just staying disciplined and keeping people accountable and staying in a rhythm.
Man, look here. I've watched Carrie at church with them kids. She used to have a wooden spoon in that purse.
Oh, dang.
She pulled that thing out.
She had her name. She had their names written on it. She broke it one day.
She that, and then Cameron, he'll sit on stage and his kids will be over there, and I'll see him look over there, and he'll just give them that death
look.
stare, and they'll perk right on up.
I think every father knows what he's talking about with that.
That's right. That's right.
Your wife is tiny, and I walk by her, and I'm like, not even gonna make eye contact. She scares me, man.
I'm gonna tell you something.
I know
man.
she's a Marine.
Man, my wife is. I can't say enough good things about her. She's an amazing woman.
Yeah.
She is closest thing to Jesus that I get to see.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, my wife is very humble.
Yeah.
She does not like attention, and it's no disrespect or anything, but like. When you a lot of times, hey, stand up if you've served this country, because my wife's a cop too. She's a deputy sheriff.
Oh, dang.
So my wife's she's gonna sit there.
She's the first one in the county, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty awesome.
So she doesn't like the recognition because we don't do it for the praise.
Right.
It's not what it's about.
That's
it's
right.
about just doing your job.
I think we need to call her
Oh Lord,
What y'all think? Can we
She's
give her-
probably sleeping because she worked night shift.
Oh,
last
okay,
night.
never mind. Okay, we like to call her.
John,
John,
if you get on the phone with her, she's liable to be up here whooping you in a few minutes.
well, we
She can
gonna
get
call
here pretty quick. She got a
we're gonna
police
call her
car.
from Cameron's phone, not my phone.
No, she's good.
No, that's awesome, man.
But back to your question, Aaron. There's probably a pile of things, but the discipline part is the most because I think that's a strong thing to instill in your family. Is just the little things that you got to make sure you're disciplined about.
Yeah.
Is that and the leadership side of it. As we get more into my story and what y'all heard this morning, you just
Yeah, I mean the leadership side of his, man. I watched Bodie. I think he's the middle one, right?
yeah,
Bowdy. My bad.
Bowdy.
Bowdy. Not
Bowdy.
Bodie.
Oh, I'm
Bowdy.
so sorry, Bowdy.
But I watch him get out there and he works just as hard as, not harder than Cameron most of the time. We were over there doing a deck and he was out there wrangling cow up out the street to get him back in the yard.
Yeah, my boys, they work hard. I'm proud of each and every one of my kids. My oldest son's actually in the mining business himself.
Cool deal.
He works for a company that I worked for when I first started. He's a driller. He's doing great. He's doing phenomenal with it. And Kenny and Bowdy, they keep talking about, hey, I want to follow Dad's footsteps in the rock business. And I told him, I was like, if you do something else, don't think you got to follow my footsteps. But
Yeah.
it's good.
So I had the opportunity to meet Patrick. He come to my house with my boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they hung out a little bit. But and you can always tell good kids when you see them.
Right.
If you're a dad, you know what I'm talking
That's
about,
right.
especially if you got a little girl.
But why can't they be good when they're around?
Right.
You always get praised by and
Other
thank you
people.
for saying that.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, why don't you act like that at home?
But he's got to let loose sometime.
That's
But,
right.
I mean,
Comfort.
from the moment he walked in my house, my sons had people come over to the house and you can hear them coming through the garage and dragging their feet. But I mean,
yeah.
the moment he walked in, it's eye contact. Hey, how are you? I'm such and such. Nice to meet you, sir. Just super
He better had a
stand up
strong
young
grip,
man.
too.
He did.
Yeah.
Just super awesome guy and got to talk to him some and here and there. And he's a great kid.
So just real quick, little thing about Patrick. So Patrick is my stepson.
Right.
I've been in Patrick's life since he was 2 years old. Me and his mom got together right when Patrick was about 2, and we started dating. And man, I've watched that kid go through it. He lived with his dad, and the relationship was never horrible. It was just one of those things, his dad and my wife, they had a moment, had a child, just went about their separate ways. We've been through court, been through the whole nine, a lot of little issues here and there, with the other baby daddy kind of deal, but always respectful to his father, and his father was always respectful to us. Always tried to be an encouragement to Patrick, but Patrick lived with his dad majority of his life, and his dad raised him, and his dad did a good job. But there were some things that that would have been different, whatever. And Patrick battled very strongly with wanting to be with us, and then because he wanted to be around his brothers and his sisters, and he wanted to be around his mom, but he didn't want to leave his dad because his dad's not married, his dad doesn't have any other siblings, and Patrick sort of wandered a little bit, and there was a gap there for a moment. And Patrick was almost like our prodigal.
Yeah.
We prayed for years.
Yeah.
And there was moments like, man, he's coming home, and he wouldn't. And it was that moment we graduated. We graduated high school. I said, what's he going to do? And he called us up. He said, Dad, I'm coming home. And he lives in a little cabin down the hill on the farm, and he's got him a job. You still got to straighten him up some. He's still
Right.
19, so
Yeah.
you still got to whip him a little bit and get him straight. But he's a great kid, and he's doing well, and he'll continue to do well. But he's actually an answer a prayer.
That's
That was
amazing.
actually watching God work and him being here, because he loves coming down with your boys and the young adults when he can.
Yeah.
His job keeps him pretty
Keeps
busy.
him busy.
and-
Yeah.
But he's got a heart after God. He does. He's got a heart for him.
It touches my heart when I see one of your sons come down to the altar, and then
Yeah.
the other ones get up, and then your wife gets up, and you come down, man. It touches my heart. Cameron's a tall dude. To me, he's the epitome of
Cameron's
man.
a big old man.
He is the epitome of man. But there is also what's beautiful to see in your heart is that that softness
Yeah.
that men don't
Thank
get
you.
to show.
Thank
the
you.
realness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Men are trained not to show that.
That's
and
right.
man, I love it, man. You tearing up during your service today, tearing up right now, man, it touched my heart.
So I want to share something else
go
too. So mentioned before, I'm 52 years old and lost my career this year. So what I want to do is share a little moment with Cameron. I'm 52 years old. Yeah, I am the oldest one in the room. But I lost my career earlier this year, unexpectedly. Went on a trip with the church, came back, got called into the office, and said, "Hey, we're going to part ways."
Man.
Cameron was one of the first men I called.
Yeah.
And I didn't know much about him really. We served together at church, and hadn't really had any in-depth conversations, but just the feel I got from him and what I saw of him, I reached out to him and talked to him, and I didn't even know he was going to answer the phone. Right? I didn't know if he had my number or if he knew, what my name even was, even though we served together. So.
That's right.
Not only did he answer the phone, I told him, "Hey, this is what happened. This is what I'm doing," or whatever. And he's riding down the road going to a job, and he said, "Well, look, let's just stop right now. Let's just pray." Right. So, immediately that's his first reaction. So that just kind of tells you a little bit more about the man behind the man.
I appreciate
for somebody that he really doesn't know that much, in all honesty.
But, you think about that, and I struggled with that for a while. How many times do we look at someone and say, "Man, I'm praying for you, buddy," and you don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
You really don't. You say it. You put all these group text messages together, praying. But how many people truly stop exactly what they're doing right then, right now?
Yep.
And that's not for my glory. That's God.
Right.
That's God. And do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bible says, pray.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
It's crazy how if you just stop and pray, it changes your whole outcome, your whole attitude, your whole focus at that moment. When as men, we are taught to just control, fight it, pride, all that stuff. But if you just stop for that in that moment and just, it don't even have to be, it don't have to be from the pulpit.
No.
God, I need you.
Yeah.
It's just real.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
real.
that's, so I want to publicly thank you for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. I really do.
Cameron's a great dude. Let's get into your rock quarrying stuff. Whoa, that was was that a rock
It
or an
sounds like what it
explosion?
would
Did you
sound
bring
like.
some dynamite with you today?
Yes, Jesus.
So, rock business, man, I was born and raised around it all my life. So my father has been in the mining business for.
Oh, so not crack rocks.
No.
Okay. Sorry.
My
Off the
dad,
rails.
my dad has been in the mining business for close to 50 years. And I grew up around it. And I tell you, I hated it.
Yeah.
Growing up. Now, I shouldn't say I hated it, but I was the kid that got off the school bus at the rock quarry, rode around with dad, loved it and everything. But like I told you this morning, at 12 years old, I walked into my living room of my house. Me and my sister walked in, and my dad and my mom are sitting at the table, and they're getting a divorce. Because growing up, my dad has always been a faithful man. And my dad's always been a strong Christian guy and trying to do right. And I walk in, and they're getting a divorce. And I remember my mom saying things like, "You're never at home. You're never here. You're always working." I mean, growing up, I was never a big sports guy. I played a little bit of baseball, but my dad was always working, and I was like, man, this is stupid, whatever. And we went through that change with the divorce, and I just didn't have no desire for it. Like, I didn't want to do that. And because I seen what it did to my family. Because on top of that, not only did my mom and my dad go through the divorce, but it was not long. I bet you it was not even a year that my dad lost his job. My dad fell into depression. He may not tell you that, but he did. My dad lost all kinds of weight, lost his job. We sold the house. My mom's gone. I don't know where my mom's doing. Don't know at the time, really. And he lost everything. I mean, my dad went from driving a brand new Z71 to a 1973 pickup truck. To living in a rental house, leaving there, going to my grandma's house, living in the attic to my grandma's house for a little while, to my dad working at a propane company, being a service tech. So I didn't want nothing to do with the rock business.
Yeah.
But, like the book of Job, My dad stayed faithful.
Amen.
And it was, I was probably 15, 16 years old. And my dad got an offer from a company to come to Augusta, Georgia. So the Vulcan Quarry that's on Columbia Road,
Yep.
my dad ran that when it was Rinker and it was Ag USA. My dad came here. Well, I didn't want to move down here. I don't know none of these people down there. I don't want to go down there. I want to stay back home. So I live with my mom. I moved in with my mom for a little bit. And I did that. And then I went back and forth. I was that teenage kid going back and forth between here and there, here and there, here and there. And I didn't want nothing to do with the rock business. I just didn't. And I graduated. 9/11 happened, and the Marine Corps idea came up. It was my birthday, and all this and everything. And I told y'all that earlier that I went to college, blah blah blah, and then I joined the Marines. Well, I got out of the Corps when I didn't get out of the Corps, but I went done with my training. I needed a job. So where did I end up at? I ended up as a mechanic. So I'm a mechanic and a welder by trade. I worked at the rock quarry. I started at the same quarry at 19 years old that my dad started at 19 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Full circle. It was like a repeat of history. You know what I mean? And I started working in the business. I started with a company called Vulcan Materials. I worked for them for like 8 or 9 years. And then during that time I was Vulcan, my deployment came up. I got deployed. I came back, still had my job. They took care of me. Vulcan's a great company. I don't take nothing away from Vulcan. Vulcan's awesome. But I just had to make a change. And I ended up leaving Vulcan. I got an opportunity to be a plant manager at a quarry that the company that I went to work for, Bluegrass at the time, in Edgefield. I don't know if y'all have ever been to the quarry in Edgefield.
Yep.
Like going into town, it's right there on the left. I started there. And that's how I got to North Augusta. And I got in the rock business and I started getting into management. And by that time I'd had about 7 or 8 years in it. My job started progressing more and worked for them for a while. And we sold Bluegrass to Martin Marietta. And we sold them in like 2017, I think. Well, I was getting active in Victory, and man, you remember when we used to do those Bible studies with Keith and your dad and them? That's when it started. I got really involved in church at that time. And we ended up leaving Victory, and we ended up going to Chapin. And I went back to work for Vulcan for a little while. And this was like 2017, 2018, man. I bought a big old house up in Chapin, up there. And I was working for Vulcan. And I was doing that for a while and got done with them. And I got another job opportunity to go back to work for the group that I was working for prior to Vulcan for a little while. And that was like 2018, 2019, probably, let's just say, right before COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was doing that. And I was all the way in Summerville, South Carolina. So that's when my traveling started. And I was running a sand plant down there, helping Mr. Baker build a sand plant down there. And about 2019, my wife got deployed. And that's when everything started shifting a little bit. And I was working there for a while. Keith Finch's daughter, Tristan, was going through a spot in her life, and she needed to get an out. And the house that I had was so big, there was an extra room and an apartment kind of thing. So she stayed up there, and she helped me raise my kids. I mean, my daughter was 6 months old when my wife left.
That's tough right there. She gets deployed. Number one is hard.
Yeah.
She was gone for a full year.
She was gone for a full year.
Yeah.
That's right. And, during all that time, that's when CT came back. Doc Brown had stepped down. Yep. I was not coming back. I know I'm getting off the rock.
No, you go right ahead.
But,
do what you want to.
I got when I left Victory, man, I was going to another Baptist church up in Chapin, and we were trying to make it happen. But I think it was John Hardy there when CT first started coming
When
in?
he first started, yeah.
Yeah, so John Hardy called me back. It was before CT got there. John Hardy was still there. Well, Pastor Brown was getting really bad.
Yeah.
Well, they needed somebody to sit on stage with Pastor Brown at that time, because Miss Brown would give me his medicine, and I'd help write his little notes because he couldn't write, and he was trying. He was going through a tough moment right there. And I was doing that, so we was driving back to Victory, but I was still working, in Somerville and trying to do all that and everything. And so I got done with that, and the rock business took a whole nother turn again. My wife was deployed. My wife came back. And I was like, Carrie, we got to move. I'm like, we got to get out of here. I want to buy a farm. So to back up, put it in rewind, when my dad moved to Georgia, it's probably 20 some years ago, he started he was running the quarry on a Columbia Road. And then there's another quarry out in Sparta, Georgia. He built that. So when I was in high school, I used to come down here and go hunting down in Sparta, down in Hancock County. And I used to come down here. I remembered it. Well, when I left and we decided to leave Chapin and come back and buy the farm in Mitchell, I was in the consulting business. I started consulting with my dad. And that shook me all over the place. I mean, I was traveling everywhere from Canada to Florida to the Bahamas, not really to the Bahamas, but I was working on some projects with my dad in the Bahamas. And I was spending a lot of time on the road. I was flying everywhere. I was traveling a lot. And my wife had just gotten back, from deployment. So it was a little bit of a tough spot right there in the mining business. And it was probably about a year ago. I ended up landing with a guy out of Gray, Georgia, that bought some land and wanted to build a quarry. And he partnered up with another friend of ours. He was a guy named Ben Jones. He worked with my dad at the Ag USA, kind of mutual connections. And he called me up. He said, hey, Cameron, we really want some help with some consulting and all. And man, I'm gonna tell you what, the guys that I work with, they're phenomenal. Strong Christian guys, businessmen. They were never in the rock business, but they've always been interested in it. And they've got other entities that they run and they do. And they're very, very, very smart business guys, phenomenal people. I've learned so much from them. So God really blessed me when he put me with this group that I'm currently with now. And right now we're building a greenfield site, quarry in Barnesville, Georgia, which is outside of Forsyth. So it's about an hour and 45-minute drive every day. But they're really good. And, the rock business is a business that not many people know. They know it, but they don't understand it.
Yeah.
You think about the rock business, modern day Fred Flintstone or something. You got concrete, asphalt, block, sand and all that, but there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot to it. And it's a great industry to be in. Phenomenal industry to be in.
So I want to know what's louder, an explosion in the quarry or 5 kids fighting over cereal in the morning?
5 kids fighting over cereal in the morning. 5 kids fighting over cereal or fighting over a seat in the car.
Thanks for listening, and remember, the smoke may settle, but the embers stay lit. This was the Gunpowder, Propane, and Jesus podcast. Stay tuned for the next part of this episode.